All right, we're back. Y'all liked the first two videos so much that we decided we'd go ahead and make a couple more and answer a few more questions. So we brought back our friend Kevin Owens from Carlson Associates and Paige Miller, always hanging out, always with the probing questions as well. So we'll get started. Okay, Kevin, so you know, y'all give me a lot of crap because I like to vacation, right? And I love to spend time in Oregon specifically. I went to college down there. Yeah. Anyway, and you know I love Bend. Paige got married in Bend.
Yep, love Oregon.
So I want to go buy a vacation home in Bend.
Right.
So how do I insure that bad boy? What does that look like?
Yeah, it's not really any different. I mean, unless the style is, you know, a lot of vacation homes can be on stilts or, you know, something very unique. That's a unique style of a homeowner's policy, but it's a homeowner's policy. The only difference really is that you want to list it as a secondary home. I think you want to guard against, you know, what would happen at the time of a loss. If I'm listing a secondary home as a primary home on my insurance policy and you're only there 3 months a year and a loss happens, you know, all of a sudden they're going to say, where are you? Why aren't you here? Where have you been? And it's just looked at differently. So it's just a small base. You want to cover this as a secondary home. It's part of the normal homeowners policies there. It's just something, it's one of the basic questions when I'm going through quotes, is this a secondary home?
Okay, so what is the difference though between a secondary home and like a rental? Like I want it to be in Sun River. It's a vacation community, tons of rentals. Are you telling me there's no difference, or is there a difference if you rent it as a vacation rental, you know, or if it's just mine, nobody else goes there?
Are you talking about like Airbnb type thing, or are you talking about I own a rental property?
Well, I think we should talk about that too. But
yeah, I think it was coming from the place of she bought a second home, she rents it out part of the time. So like VRBO, potentially. Yeah, how does the insurance?
It's tricky. You're whittling down your options there. Because it's kind of a partial rental. It's a vacation rental as opposed to a full-time rental. It's looked at a little differently. If I'm putting in tenants on yearly leases and whatnot, that's different than I got people renting it out for the weekend. A lot of times it's vacant. A lot of times it's just not attended to. So it's just different, and you're kind of whittling down your options in the way where not everybody wants that. Not every company wants to insure that type of stuff, but you just want to make sure you got it right, so that if a claim happens, it's covered, and you just voice that to your agent.
Okay, so for liability's sake, we'll discuss my second home off camera. But I think that gave us a pretty good picture.
Yeah.
But then going back to a traditional rental, obviously we have a lot of clients that are building wealth through having investment properties that are rentals, long-term rentals. So how do you get those insured, or what are you looking for? Yeah,
it's actually a different style of insurance policy. You run into problems a lot of times where I buy a home, I live in it for a while, I move out, and now I'm going to rent it out. A lot of people may not realize you actually have to have a different form of policy.
Okay. Commonly
referred to as a dwelling fire. Most of the coverage is for the structure of the building. You don't have, unless you actually do fully furnish the place, you don't have as much coverage for the personal property. If you do fully furnish and you got a lot of your stuff in there, you want to make sure that your agent knows that, because those forms don't come with the personal property, your stuff, as much.
Okay. So that kind of covered, like, what if the rental's furnished? So that's two different styles, right? Okay. So what if my rentals are in an LLC?
Right.
In terms of liability, like, does that really protect me? Do you recommend going that direction? Do you have thoughts on that?
It's fine. There's some different ones. I mean, you get into, it's in the name of a trust. That's actually a little more complicated.
Okay.
But it's in an LLC. You can list the LLC as an additional interest or an additional insured, or vice versa. Normally not a big deal when you got it in the LLC. If you got a bunch of different investor partners that kind of do that, you kind of just want to make sure everybody's accounted for on your policy and everybody's listed as some sort of interest involved.
Cool. Okay, so from what I understand, though, maybe an LLC doesn't give you as much protection as one might hope, because a lot of times people put their property, that's for the legal portion of the show.
Right.
What about an umbrella policy? What does that look like?
Right, yeah. So yeah, the umbrella policy will, that's excess liability over the top of your several different policies. It could be over the top of your home, auto, motorcycle,
Okay.
boat, and you list that all on your umbrella policy. So I have $500,000 of liability on my homeowner's insurance. If something were to happen and somebody were suing me and I exhaust all these legal costs and get past that 500, now the umbrella kicks in.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 5 million. That comes into play. I definitely recommend that for people who own a bunch of different rental dwellings, for sure.
Okay. Excellent. Perfect.
Mhm.
Paige, do you have any other specific questions?
I think that covered it all. I definitely will second guess what plans I had for a vacation rental.
Well, I'll.
You're kind of a buzzkill.
I kind of want to go back to that LLC, the LLC questions. Like you said, you just want to make sure everybody is accounted for on there, because I could be sued as an individual, or I could be sued as an LLC. And if I don't have my LLC listed as some sort of additional interest and they go sue the LLC, now my business is in big trouble. So it's not a big deal from my point of view in insuring it, but you just want to make sure that base is covered.
Very cool. Okay, perfect. Well, as usual, if you have any specific questions, Kevin's contact information is in the comments, so reach out to him directly. But thanks for hanging with us again, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks.